Hi, and welcome to another episode of Starship Gaming, and today we have just a quick little video on some very exciting news. So, if you haven't already heard, and this news just came out of nowhere, like, this was completely unexpected, but Star Wars Jedi Knight II, Jedi Outcast, is being re-released on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4 on September 24th, 2019. So this came as a bit of a shock, not only for the fact that the game is not canon anymore, but for the fact that it's being re-released. In all honesty, it wasn't too memorable of a Star Wars game when you compare it to other ones that came out in the early 2000s. Of course, you had some of the other big-name ones at the time in the late 90s and all that, like Dark Forces and Dark Forces 2 and whatnot. But this one was just completely, it just came out of nowhere. They just announced, hey, it's getting released for Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4. And I actually remember playing this game. I never did own it. And the reason why is I could never find it in stores. By the time that I realized that it existed, of course it came out in 2002. It was released for PC originally, and then there was a GameCube and a original Xbox port, which the original Xbox port I remember renting from a local video store, and I think I maybe rented it for a total of 15 days, and they gave you at this video store. And the reason I went here and started renting games later in later years, like 2005 through until they closed down. I think they closed down in around 2010 roughly. I used to go here because they would give you for any video games. I think they still rented VHS tapes up until 2010, up until they closed. I think their VHS tapes were like $1 for 5 days. And DVDs were, older releases were like $2 for 5 days, and the new releases were $5 for 5 days. Video games were $2.50 for 5 days. So I rented this a total of 3 times, and then I returned it. So I actually do remember playing this game, and I played it a few times since then. The last time I played it, I got a copy in my shop. If you don't already know, I own a gaming shop, and I actually played the GameCube version of this game, and I eventually did play the PC version, which the PC version is excellent, which I'm gonna say it's safe to assume that the Switch and PS4 versions are going to be based on the PC version of the game. But and another side note, the game's not canon anymore. When Disney took over the Star Wars franchise, it wiped out a bunch of stuff, and now this game is considered part of Legends. And to be honest, I actually like that. I think re-releasing older Star Wars games, I think that's a great idea. I'd like to see Battlefront 1 and 2 both get a release, at least on PS4 and Xbox One, because and have updated graphics and stuff. The original Battlefront and Battlefront 2. I'm not talking about the EA crappy versions that they try to push on people. Don't get me wrong, the new EA Battlefront 2, or I guess you could say it's kind of new at this point. It's not really new. It's almost 2 years old at the time of this recording. But it had the story mode was good, and then everything else was just crap about it. And of course there was a lot of controversy surrounding that, and we'll go into detail about it in the video someday. But I am still in utter shock that they are releasing this game, because it just came out of nowhere. Like, here it is, September 2019, and it comes out on the 24th. I had not heard anything about this, and usually I hear everything Star Wars when it first, all the news and everything. But this one, it just completely caught me off guard. I think it caught a lot of people off guard, but I'm really glad that they are recognizing a game that was actually pretty decent. Now, if only they would release, or re-release, I should say, Dark Forces and Dark Forces 2, which is part of this series, then everything would be fine and dandy. Personally, I would like to see, like, the first 2 games released in a bundle pack, and then go from there. Which, if they did that, I would be super happy. But I don't see that happening in the foreseeable future, unless, just like this, it just comes out of nowhere. So, miracles can happen in both gaming and the Star Wars fandom. So, Star Wars Jedi Knight II Jedi Outcast will be released on September 24th, 2019 for Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4. As to whether it'll be a physical copy or download only, I don't know that yet, but I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that it will be available in both formats, you could say. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell if you want notifications of when we do more awesome videos. And until next time, I will see ya.